guys. So welcome to the second video episode of Trouble with Words by Skype. So I hope that it comes out okay.
Very exciting. I don't know if it's working at all. So
this episode is about the Microsoft and the PlayStation 4 events that happened pretty recently. Sony, Microsoft, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, where they announced those. But I realize now that you're going to be watching this and E3 would have already happened by a couple of days. Don't watch those things until you watch this. Let us be your source for all things video game related. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Xbox One, and I want to talk about the PlayStation 4, and kind of get your opinions on, in my opinions, on what those events were and how well they did and if they were any good.
You talk about the PS4, and I'm going to surf on the internet on my computer. Just tell me when you're done.
Okay, I see. Do you have no interest in the PS4? Is that your point? Or are you looking up information about it?
No, I just didn't watch the thing like you told me to.
Oh, right. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'll be honest. I mean, we only have half an hour, and a lot of what I want to talk about is Microsoft anyway. But I'll say this. So last generation, I'm already calling it last generation. My favorite console, hands down, was the Xbox. And the PS3 was kind of a letdown. I got it just to play a few exclusives that I really wanted to play because I'm really into gaming enough that it was worth it to me just to buy it for that. Also, it was a cheap Blu-ray player. So,
can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
What is that on the wall behind you? It looks like a handsaw. Yep, that.
It's a very, very small mirror. Yeah.
Yeah. We leave this in.
Of course. Well, I'll decide that later, I guess. It depends on how much we have to say. But
to me, it looks like a handsaw. And a framed handsaw on your wall is the most amazing thing I've ever...
It's also concerning, isn't it? Why would anybody have a handsaw on their bedroom wall? All right, so PlayStation 3 was my secondary console. Because also, and I'm sure you probably agree with this, at least from what you've heard, game came out on both the Xbox 360 and the PS3, meaning, it's a major release, came out on both consoles. The version that's better was going to be on the 360.
But Josh, what about the version that came out for the Wii?
That's a really good point. I haven't been big on the Wii, and I'm really not big on the Wii U. I think it's kind of silly, so I don't even think of it as part of the discussion.
Try not to get hung up on the names of things, but the Wii U is by far the silliest of the...
Yeah. I mean, the Wii was silly enough, and that's really their next one is that's what they came up with? Really?
Yeah.
But we got used to it.
The PS4, I mean, at least that makes a certain kind of sense.
Sure.
They're not going to win any awards for creativity from the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3,
right?
To the PlayStation 4. But you know where they're going.
Yeah.
The Xbox to the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Xbox One implies the first Xbox. Well, most people actually call that the Xbox One. They've been doing it for years, since the 360 came out. That's really confusing. This last generation, my favorite console, hands down, was the Xbox 360. Achievements, I really liked them. So,
doesn't PlayStation have trophies or something like similar?
PlayStation does have trophies, but they're not as good. And they got them much later. It was very much their response to achievements. They did it at a later date. Yeah, just on the that way a little bit. To this other way. I'm sorry, other direction. That's better. I can still see you. No, a little further.
Is this good right here?
That's perfect. Yeah, you got it. We're so good at technology.
Achievements for me will make me do things in video games that I wouldn't normally bother wasting the time to do.
Okay.
I've been thinking a lot about playing Dragon Age lately.
Okay.
In other games, we've talked a lot about Mass Effect in other BioWare games where there's a morality system, and specifically in Mass Effect, the Paragon and the opposite of the Paragon, I forget what that's called.
Renegade?
Renegade, yes.
Yeah. Being
a good guy and being a bad guy. And I almost invariably, and we've talked about this before, will play the good guy.
Yeah, me too.
But to get all the achievements, you have to replay the game as a bad guy. I want the achievement, but I don't like playing that way.
Well, for whatever reason, I don't care what my score is. I don't care, about having a high gamer score, but I really do like getting achievements. Just the sound they make when they pop up on the screen. Very, very satisfying. I don't know what it is. hard to recreate. Lots of reasons. Xbox 360 was my favorite, and PS3 was not.
They're going to continue the. I mean, they've already said your Xbox Live account is going to continue on the Xbox One. Your gamer score is going to move over everything.
Yeah.
So to imagine if they're bothering to move your gamer score over, they're going to continue with achievements. I mean,
they've already said that. Yeah. In fact, they're even adding different types of achievements. So now gamers, or I should say game developers, can make new achievements after the game's already come out that can show up later. Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't know if that means they can keep increasing the score available, because that seems like it'd make it crazy. But yeah, there's lots of stuff coming. Man, all right, so I'm talking about the PlayStation 4 event, because they didn't show the console, which was kind of a big thing. Everyone was expecting to see it. They didn't show it. They did talk about all of the online functionality that's going to have. That it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff where you can record everything on your screen and then share that on YouTube right within the system of the PlayStation. Because, there's already enough videos of gaming online. There might as well be some higher quality ones if we can make that happen. So I like that. And also, it does all the updating in the background. And I don't know if you've ever played or even seen the PlayStation 4 do an update, or PlayStation 3 do an update. Yeah, it's horrible, and it's one of the reasons I hated it, because there are too many updates and they stopped the whole thing. I'm a big fan of that, and they showed a few games, some things to get excited about if you're a PlayStation fan. Again, nothing to blow me away, but the things I'm excited for the PlayStation 4. We should say that we're doing this episode by Skype because you are in New York in a hotel room, and this is so important to you that you were willing to do this over the internet, which I appreciate. So
I'm on Long Island.
You're on Long Island?
I'm on Long Island. I had an iced tea with my dinner.
Nice. Was it good?
Actually, I had a really good dinner. Today was my last day on site. I had a really good steak and a couple of drinks. Because I knew I was going to be recording, so I had a couple of drinks.
Hey, that's why you're so lively. Yeah, you're really showing that Mitch. You're really committed to it. That's going to help. Honestly, even over video, it was getting a little rough. So thank you for freshening up some.
I tweeted when I watched the Xbox event.
Right.
I tweeted as I was watching it. To prepare for this, while I was not watching the PS4 event, I reread my tweets. And I found that most of my tweets were about the different presenters' footwear.
Yeah, it's true. You did have some tweets about footwear. That's true. I remember that.
I don't know how helpful I can be.
All right, so PlayStation 4 event. I'll get past it. I watched it. I left it thinking, okay, this is pretty good. There's some good ideas for next generation stuff. Who knows if it'll be any good. And then the Xbox event happened. And this you watched, like you said, you live tweeted it. So tell me, what was your opinion, footwear aside, while I drink a soda? Nope, you're confused. See, if we both drink, then no one's talking. And that may work for the video version, but it's going to be really rough for the audio version.
Oh, that's true. We'll have to add some gulping sounds. So here's the thing. I was kind of unimpressed by the bulk of the Xbox event. Some of the technical features they talked about, the very few technical features they talked about, I thought were really interesting. Obviously they've kind of gone whole hog with the Kinect features, and I swear to God, I laugh out loud every time they say Xbox Go Home. Their big focus was all of the sports games, the EA Sports and the football connectivity, and the I swear they mentioned the fantasy football and fantasy basketball like 10 times. There's like 4 people that care about that.
I mean, they're trying to say that they can make the Xbox your home entertainment system now.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen the cut of the Xbox event where they it just counted how many times they said the word TV. Like 3 solid minutes of just TV.
Yep.
It's pretty fun.
Which I get. I mean, this is the event before E3, and E3 is game centric, so they keep saying this is where we're getting the television stuff out of the way. I get that. Except, can I just say, like, what's the point of the television stuff? Are you ever going to be watching a movie and then be like, oh, I want to watch a trailer to the sequel of this, and then it instantly switches, and then, oh, actually, I kind of want to be watching television at the same time. And what? I mean, you're playing a game, you want to... What? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. There's a certain ADD kind of, like, mentality, or you're watching a movie and you're like, oh, man, what else was this guy in? I'm never going to pause the movie, switch, and go look that up. I'm going to grab my phone or my tablet, and I'm going to look it up on IMDb while the movie continues to play. It was a neat technical demo, but I just don't see the utility of it. The speed with which you could switch things was pretty impressive.
It was.
To me, I'm gonna get it eventually. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be a day one purchase for me. I'm not gonna be camped out somewhere, waiting to get one.
Well, it's because you're not really a gamer. You're not really. I kid.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. There's such a backlog of good games that I haven't played for the 360. I'll be fine for a number of years before I have to buy an Xbox One, unless my 360 dies, God forbid.
Right. Well, still, what would you pay for a new system too? I mean, it still may be worth it to you to buy an old one again. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, have they talked pricing at all at this point?
It's all waiting till E3. In theory, maybe not even then. Maybe not even till closer to Christmas. Yeah.
I guarantee you, the new Xbox is going to be $600.
No, I can't imagine they'll go that extreme. It could, but I really hope not. When
the PlayStation 3 came out, it was like $4 something, wasn't it?
Well, and it got ruined because of that. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, when that happened, it ruined Sony. Nobody bought it because it was too much money.
Well, I wouldn't say it ruined Sony. They're still here.
No, I know they're here, but they're hurting as a company. Samsung's taken over all the other electronics side, and they had a lot riding on that PlayStation 3. The PlayStation, I almost want them to be the better console this time. I mean, I think they're going to be, but I want them to be because they're like the underdog now, and I used to prefer them. I preferred the PlayStation 2, because maybe they'll spend this entire generation just like begging us for forgiveness by giving us really good stuff.
By being awesome?
Yeah.
And that'd be a good problem to have. If they were both really great, I see no downside other than only being able to afford one, which is probably the boat I'm in. Like, I'm going to have to pick one, and at this point in the game, it's going to be an Xbox, just based on...
based on what? Just because you had it before? Based on what?
Yeah, I mean...
That doesn't seem... Be open to the idea.
Based on what I had before and the track record of like you said, the bulk of the games that I wanted to play that were exclusive to the Xbox versus the PS3. And like you said before, the games that came out for both got better reviews on the Xbox. Now, I know it's a completely different scenario with the next generation. 2 years from now, we could be saying the same thing. Oh man, all of the games that came out for both systems are so much better on the PS4. And either way, I'll have time to figure that out because, like I said, I'm not buying either one out of the gate. Right now, if somebody was like, I'm going to give you one and only one, pick one, yeah, I would go with the Xbox One just because that's what looks good to me. But 2 years from now, after they've both been out and games have come out and reviews have come out, and if the PS4 is clearly the better system, then yeah, I mean, obviously.
Okay.
With the one.
You're open to the idea. You're not like a fanboy of Xbox, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of porting my my live ID over and keeping my gamer score and achievements and all that stuff. So that is appealing to me.
Because here's some things about the Xbox. A lot of the problems with the Xbox One that really came out in the woodwork and really were upsetting people online were stuff that was not in the presentation. It was the stuff that kind of was announced afterward. And so some of these are kind of deal breakers, possibly. So one concern is it does require an internet connection. It has to reconnect to the internet every 24 hours or so, or none of your games will work. You can't play a single-player game. It'll just shut it down. It won't work until it reconnects to the internet. It is dumb. The other problem is, speaking of always on, there's another sense of that, which is that the new Kinect is mandatory, which is obnoxious to me. I have a Kinect, and I choose to keep mine unplugged until I'm using it for games, because it'll always be on. It's like watching and listening. So It's waiting for you to say Xbox on, and then it will turn on. It's there. It's aware. It's sentient. It will kill you in your sleep.
It's spying on you and watching you when you get up at 3 a.m. to walk from the bathroom, and it's watching you naked do that, and because you are naked.
But also, here's the big thing. So there is going to be a very weird requirement when it comes to the way games are used. every game has a mandatory install. You have to install it on the hard drive. And you don't need the disk to play it once it's on the hard drive, which is kind of cool. Except that it's because every time you install a game, the game is connected to your ID now. So effectively, you can't borrow games from friends anymore. Like, you can't rent even, potentially. You might be able to buy used games. They're setting up some sort of weird system there. They haven't announced what that is yet, and hopefully we'll find out. You may even know that watching this by the time it airs. It's potentially some really bad news. And if they do all that, and PlayStation 4 doesn't, to me, it's a pretty clear decision. I'm throwing that out there because that's my big concern. That's my big fear.
And that's a valid fear, certainly. I mean, after the kind of explosion of bad press that SimCity just got for having required always-on internet connection, you'd think that would knock some sense into other companies thinking about doing that. If my internet goes out, I can't play my games, like games that I've purchased. That's silly.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Not even your internet. If Xbox Live goes out, it doesn't even take your whole internet. It just takes that. But it's still just, it's all set up. All of this feels like it's set up for DRM. It's another way to manage, our rights, I guess. And I don't know. It pisses me off. It really pisses me off. And if they end up doing this and not listening to the fans and the people that, support the consoles, it's going to make the decision for me. Now, it's still possible they both could do that. The PlayStation just may not have announced all this stuff, and maybe this is just what the next generation of gaming is. Maybe that's just what we have to deal with. Maybe borrowing games and renting games are a thing of the past, and maybe I'll just have to accept that. I don't know. But it sucks. And on that note, can I borrow Tomb Raider?
Yeah, when I'm done with it.
Okay. I thought you were done with it. You're not done with it?
I got to the very end, and then I stopped and went back to the beginning and not started a new game, but I went back to the first area to get all of the collectibles and all this stuff that he cares about with me. So,
see, and where do I get off saying you're not a gamer? That's impressive. I'm just saying.
Once I catch up and get 100% totally, then you can borrow it indefinitely.
And then I'll play it, and then we'll talk about it on the show too. Because can I just ask though, real quick, what's your review?
It's really good.
Okay, all right. Because
we should do a Tomb Raider episode. Just talk about like all of the previous games, etc.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do a Tomb Raider episode. That sounds good to me. And I wanted to talk presentation though, because I really thought the Call of Duty demo at the end, Call of Duty Ghosts, was pretty hysterical.
The whole thing was hysterical.
Yeah.
The whole thing was dudes and bros and football and Call of Duty dude bros. Like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't...
Yep. Yeah.
I know there's a market for that, and obviously it's a big market, but, like, the games they showcased were Call of Duty, football, racing, and fantasy football, fantasy basketball integration.
And something called Quantum Break, which had live action mixed with.
Who's the actress in that? I recognized her from
she's
something.
in Burn Notice, too. I hope that's not the game. I hope the game isn't mixed with live action, and I hope that's just some weird trailer. Because that sounds horrible. Like Night Trap.
When they thought full motion video was this great idea for video games.
Yeah.
I had a Star Trek Borg invasion game that was full motion video. Did you ever see that?
No. Was it like Next Generation Borg, like the crew and everything?
It's placed on the Enterprise, but you never see any of the main characters. It's all like these really terrible like B actors in full Starfleet uniform running around fighting the Borg. And it's like, it's full motion video, and then it will pause, and you have to like click on something to tell it what to do.
Oh, so funny.
So there's like the whole game takes maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you make 6 decisions or something ridiculous like that.
I'm going to find that game, and I'm going to download that, because that is the next generation of gaming.
I mean, it's pretty fun for what it is, but it's also really terrible.
But yeah, but the Call of Duty thing specifically, I mean, there were lots of things that were hysterical in the presentation. The dog in the mocap suit, like this whole thing about this dog being a part of the team. And,
it's become a really big joke.
Oh yeah. I was like excited. Like I was genuinely excited to see a dog in a mocap suit attacking somebody. I thought it was like the best thing I'd ever seen. So I think that more games should have dogs in mocap suits, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And technology with advanced AI. Because I understand that fish will swim out of your way if you get near them.
That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Like they did in Super Mario Bros. 64.
Have realistic fish and dogs but don't worry about having realistic and compelling female characters.
Oh, why
You
would you
know,
do that? Why would you bring female characters to a bro game? Why would you possibly do that? Unless they're, like the old-fashioned Tomb Raider, because that had some certain assets. I think that guy's
I
like,
recognize your wordplay
oh,
and refuse to acknowledge it.
what do I do? What do I
You
do?
can always buy a Wii U.
Oh man, the Wii. Do you care about Nintendo at all right now? Do you have any interest? I mean,
I bought a Wii before I got my Xbox. I bought a Wii just so that we could play the Mario Wii.
right.
It looked amazing. The co-op looked great, and it was pretty fun. In all honesty, it was pretty fun. But here's the thing about the Wii: all of the games are terrible, except for
The ones made by Nintendo.
the ones made by Nintendo, and specifically the Mario games. You know, Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Wii, and there's a Legend of Zelda game for the Wii that's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about those Wii games that are the good Wii games. Any Xbox 360 game, doesn't matter if it's a 5-star platinum, super great, mega hit. If it's out for 6 months, you can go and get it for a drastically reduced price. You know, a $60 game that comes out on day one, 3 months later you can get it for $30. You know, down the road even further you can get it for $19.95 or whatever.
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy has been out for what, like 4 years? It's still $65 in Target. They refuse to reduce the prices on their AAA title.
And actually, Mario Galaxy is a great example. Do you know that Mario Galaxy sold more? Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 combined sold more copies than Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach combined.
That's crazy.
Like by a lot. They're crazy, crazy games. Like I think even maybe Halo 4 at this point you could add to that, and I think it'd still beat it. It's insane. So, Nintendo's doing well. I mean, those games are really, really good, but I agree. Like my favorite console was the Super Nintendo back in the 16-bit days. I preferred that over the Genesis by far. And yeah, I haven't, and I also like the N64 a lot, but I preferred the PlayStation 2. But I haven't been in the Nintendo since the N64. I haven't really cared. Little GameCube. I had a GameCube. I played some GameCube games.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I had GameCube. I liked my GameCube a lot. To finish my thought, I had the Wii, played quite a bit of Mario, and then sold the Wii. Like I had it for 3 or 4 months, and I sold it, and I got almost all of my money back.
Oh, nice.
And I've honestly never even thought about it. Like I've never thought, oh man, I wish I still had my Wii.
Yeah, Sam just got a copy of. He actually got a Wii, bunch of games on the hard drive, like every Wii game you could ever want. It's pretty awesome. I'm actually kind of jealous.
It has all the Wii games you could ever want. It has both of them.
It has both of them. Yeah. Yep. It does. There's like a good 7 Wii games. That tablet idea, I think it's horrible. I don't get it. I don't know what the appeal is.
Well, and you and I did get to sit down and play the new Mario Wii U while we were at PAX.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And, it's a pretty good Mario game. But
it's decent.
It wasn't anything special. Certainly not worth buying a Wii U for.
Well, yeah, it's the same Mario we were playing 10 years ago. I mean, really. I mean, what? I don't know what's new to offer. So I don't know what to expect from the future of gaming. But I'll just say this. I'm a little cautious. I have some concerns.
I'm happy with what I have now.
You are? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true for me, too. I'm pretty happy for the most part. There are things I want to see improve, though, and I'm excited to see that happen. But it's not like a desperate need. Like, sometimes years past, I felt like, this console's so old, it needs a new one. I don't feel that way now. I don't. I mean, I'm still impressed with it every time I boot it up. So, in your Tomb Raider, I think that was an impressive experience for you. They don't feel old to me. These games do not feel like they're limited by the system.
I would be perfectly happy to sell. And I don't have a large collection of Xbox 360 games, but I would be perfectly happy to keep a small collection and just play those games over and over again. I would keep the Mass Effect series, those 3 games. I would keep the 2 games so far in the Batman Arkham series.
Oh, we got to talk about the next Batman soon. That's got to come up at some point.
Which I pre-ordered. I never pre-ordered
What?
games.
Rocksteady's not making it. Aren't you scared?
I am a little scared.
All right.
But it looks pretty good.
Red Dead Redemption. Could you keep playing that?
Red Dead Redemption. Tomb Raider is on the list already.
Wow.
Dragon Age Origins, which you need to give up. And
I've never heard of it.
I gave Skyrim back to the person I borrowed it from. I haven't deleted my save. In the back of my head, I'll probably pick up a used copy for $20 at some point and keep playing. But
kills me. It stabs me right in the heart. Oh, it hurts me. It's like the best game ever made. So I will say, this is also airing around Father's Day. I want to say Happy Father's Day to you because you're a father.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not, so nobody cares. It's really hard being a dad. I just thought you should deserve a little credit for that. Because you can't play games. You have no time. You have a kid. I mean, it ruins gaming for you.
Claire likes to watch me play Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Really? Claire, your
well,
daughter.
She calls it the running around in the forest game.
That's amazing.
So I only let her watch the portions that I'm doing now where I'm going back and finding stuff. I won't let her watch like the actual gameplay or the fighting and shooting and
or the horrible ways that Lara Croft can die again and again and again. Yeah.
I was playing it last weekend, and for the most part, the areas that you've already been to are empty of enemies.
Yeah.
So I was just running around and looking for stuff, and I climbed up on this mountain, and all of a sudden there were 4 or 5 enemies, and they were not happy to see Lara Croft. And I had to pause the game, and I was like, oh man, what do? I can't fight these guys right now. So I had to just turn it off and walk away. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do as a gamer.
All right, so overall, just give me one final thing. What's your general feeling for next gen? Optimistic? Worried? Don't care?
I'm worried about the consoles. I'm optimistic about the games. Even the Dude Bro Call of Duty sports extravaganza, I have no interest in playing any of them, but they look amazing. But, we'll see.
I'm really trying to be optimistic, but I'm really worried. And I'm super excited for E3. And I don't have G4 this year, so I can't watch it on television. So I'm not sure. I guess I'm watching it all streaming on the internet. We'll see. Hopefully it's still good. But we'll do an episode probably not right away after E3. It'll probably be the one after that. Yeah, we'll keep doing this 2 episodes every month. Every 2 weeks we do a new one, and I think it's working pretty well. Our viewership's actually gone up a lot. I mean, our listenership, well, viewership in today's case, but maybe this 30 minutes is the key to our fame and fortune.
I'm telling you, money's going to start rolling in.
So people have actually already put official requests in to be guests on the show. We're going to get this thing rolling, try to be more social and not just talk to each other. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Talk to anybody else.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it. That's the end of the episode. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. She pointed out that we spent the whole show talking about Sam without ever explaining who Sam is. We just say Sam a lot.